It has been a roller coaster 1 month for Nigeria, especially President Muhammadu Buhari, whose decision to replace a much criticized set of service chiefs and wait for it, their immediate nomination as non-career ambassadors has provoked national outrage. Predictably, the ensuing barrage of criticism from security and legal experts alike has left the president lightly unruffled, even as his spokesmen and retinue of foot soldiers continue to rationalize those policy decisions. However, on the political front, stakeholders are redoubling their efforts at putting Mr. President on the spotlight for what they call a deliberate abdication of responsibilities that may come back to haunt Nigeria's corporate existence sooner rather than later. Joining us now to have a conversation around the high points of this discourse is Yinka Odumakin, Publicity Secretary of the Yoruba Socio-Political Group, Afenifere, and Organizing Secretary, Southern and Middle Belt Elders Forum. Good morning, Yinka Odumakin, and thank you for joining us on the morning show. Good morning.
My pleasure. Good morning.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, quickly. I mean, in the past few weeks, we've had this issue of killer herdsmen in the southwestern part of Nigeria, specifically Ondo State, Oyo State, and Ogun State. And there are stakeholders in Yoruba land, in the southwest, who are saying that this may lead to a civil war. So many people are beating the drums of war. I mean, how bad is the situation? And, you know, don't you think when people talk about war, they are just, you know, driving up anxieties across the nation?
Well, the Nobel laureate, Professor Yinka, is somebody very known to you. You cannot say that he's beating the drum of war or he's an alarmist. People are painting the reality that's on the ground. If what's happening in the southwest today, let's say some Yoruba boys have gone to do 1% of that in the north in the last few months, there would have been a war in this country by now. When the daughter of Afenifere leader, Fashionati, was killed in Ondo State by herdsmen, a first-class Oba was killed in the afternoon. So many prominent people. Look at that Dr. Aborode in Ibarapa, in Ogun State, everywhere. And because we don't want a war situation, that is why we have maintained our calm. But just to a point where people must say enough is enough. When the victims are beginning to rise, to say, oh, we've had enough of this, the first person that we will hear that will be talking is Nasiru El-Rufai, who openly defended the killings of Southern Kaduna people by foreign Fulani herdsmen. He said he even went to pay them money. Northern Elders Forum and the rest of them, who have all kept quiet. Since they have been killing people in the southwest, we have not heard anything about sorry from any of them. Now they are talking. Because the victims are saying, we have had enough of it. And unfortunately, we don't have a government that's been governmental. Instead of the government defending the rights of to life of the people, you see that any time these herdsmen kill people, the first line of defense is the presidency, the spokesman of the president. They are the first to defend them, to say, oh, no. Oh, even when the governor of Ondo State gave a lawful order, vacate our forest, it was Garba Shehu that first defended the rights of the herdsmen to the forest, as if the animals are not human beings. What's happening today? So when Professor Yinka is warning President Buhari that, look, if you don't speak up now, what's going on will lead to civil war. The prof is not just talking in vain.
Indeed. What then should be done to avoid civil war? Apart from the president speaking, we all have noted his customary reticence. Should he fail to rise to the occasion and address this problem, what other measures can possibly be taken to avert disaster?
Well, the way we are now, I agree with Professor Yinka that the president must speak up. He's maintaining a sinful silence over what these herders are doing. But the world and international community, we're interested in Nigeria at this moment. they should get Nigeria out of this mess. It is clear now that the possibility of internal solutions is getting limited. We don't have an authority in a leadership that can get out of this mess. And the implication of a war in Nigeria for the rest of the world is very, very serious. Therefore, they should get on their feet now and begin to get interested in Nigeria to see how they get out of this mess that we are in. They told us that we are coming for next level. The next level is getting us to a dangerous level in Nigeria. And the world must rise now to save Nigeria from this mess, because a cataclysmic problem in Nigeria will have serious implications for the rest of the world. And that should not allow to happen.
There have been some baffling reports in the Nation newspaper. A week ago, the Nation quoted how some military personnel followed some of these herdsmen back to the community where the community people said they don't want them. Last week again, over the weekend I should say, the Nation reported that there was a certain captain in the military that had a follow-up and that went back to that same community coercing people to say that they were not harassed by the military in support of the herdsmen. The Nation keeps following this story. What's the reaction to this story?
Well, that shows so clearly that, like Governor Autumn was saying a few days ago, our president, the time has come for him to show that he's the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, and it's not just the president of Fulanis in Nigeria. That we thought that the idea of soldiers, escorting herdsmen to go and be harassing communities had ended with Buratai. But the same thing has continued. And the nominations of the former security chiefs as ambassadors tells you clearly that there was an agenda where they are kept for that for a long time. And part of this assistance to herdsmen by Nigerian soldiers could be part of that hideous and invidious agenda that has pervaded the country and that is putting this country on the edge of the precipice. And that's why I said that the international community should be interested in bailing Nigeria out of the peculiar mess in which we are rolling at the moment under President Buhari. We cannot continue like this for a long time without the consequences staring us and the world in the face, and to be very disastrous.
Well, Yinka Odumakin, just two quick questions. You've been quoted as saying that what we have in Nigeria is a clash of civilizations. Now, which civilizations are clashing here, considering the fact that Nigeria is a multi-ethnic, pluralistic, diverse society? And in any case, if you are referring to the Fulanis and other ethnic groups, we've always lived together. In many of our communities, we have Sabongeri. So what went wrong? Second question, you took part in a virtual conference on this particular issue, and you and others were quoted as saying only a new constitution can solve Nigeria's security challenges. How? A constitution cannot prescribe human relations, societal relations. But let's take a short break. When we return, you can then respond to those two questions. Welcome back to the morning show here on the Arise News channel. Still with us is Yinka Odumakin, Publicity Secretary of the Yoruba Social Political Group, Afenifere, and Organizing Secretary, Southern and Middle Belt Elders Forum. Yinka Odumakin, thank you very much for staying with us. So those two questions that I asked before we went on break, yes.
Yes, on the first one, you recall that at the end of the Cold War, Fukuyama wrote the book about the end of history. that the world has come to an era where the world will enjoy a lasting peace because of the collapse of ideologies. And his book was making a wave until his teacher, Samuel Huntington, came out with his response to him, which, yes, came out with the clash of civilizations, where he said, no, the world may no longer be defined by a clash of ideologies, but it will be defined by a clash of civilizations. And that people are going to be defining the same time, who are we? Where are we coming from? Not by ideologies. And that's what's happening. And that those who share the same civilizations, but are spread across boundaries, will be coming together. That's what I've seen, that the Fulanis are now coming all over Nigeria. And their president had even opened the door for them, so that they can get visas on arrival. You remember that in 1985, at OEU summit, President Buhari, as president of Nigeria, had to take a decision about OEU Secretary General. A Nigerian from Niger was contesting with a Nigerian from Igbo land. Our president of Nigeria voted for the Fulani man from Niger Republic. And all we are witnessing today is that clash of civilizations. You remember that during the last elections, a large delegation came from Niger Republic to join the APC rally in Kano. And they, a Fulani man, see more affinity with a Fulani man from Niger Republic than a Nigerian from Nigeria. So it is that clash of civilizations that is rocking Nigeria seriously. Only this morning, I was reading the papers that Sheikh Gumi was asking governors to use their security votes to answer the demands of the bandits. In front of clash of civilizations, I don't know why any fellow Nigerian to make that kind of statement. People are making all kinds of statements. I've been talking about, look at all the killings that have been going on all over the southwest and the south and the other country. Have you had anybody from Fulani North condemning the killing? No. Because it means nothing to them. It means nothing to their civilization. And that's why Nigeria is seriously on the edge of the precipice. And that is why a person like Professor Wole Soyinka was talking strongly the way he's been talking lately. Nigeria is being racked by a strong clash of civilizations that may wreck it if nothing is done to put Nigeria on a sound footing, and which leads to the question of restructuring that we have been talking about, that we need to make Nigeria to have a new constitution. We need to put down the 1999 constitution, where exclusive list is the longest I've ever seen in any constitution in the world. We need to go back to a constitution like the 1963 constitution, where the exclusive list was so short, where the major ethnic groups are able to define their affairs, where you cannot control a country like Nigeria from Abuja. I think we have peace. Awo said it in his book, Thought on Nigeria Constitution, written in 1967 from Calabar Prison, that a country like Nigeria, you cannot run it on a unity constitution, except we have superhuman beings to run it. We don't have superhumans. We have near Almajiris running Nigeria. And Nigeria cannot make peace, cannot make progress, or predictable progress pattern, as long as we run on the present constitution. We need a brand new constitution that gives autonomy to each of the regions, that give exit clause, like the Eritrea constitution. If you are tired of opting out of the country, you are free to do so. Otherwise, serious danger awaits Nigeria. So we have not talked about restructuring in vain. All we are saying is that we must go back to federalism. You can only run a country like Nigeria along federal line. You can't run a multi-ethnic state like Nigeria along unity line and think that you have peace. It's not going to happen.
Well, indeed, you've just made this point about people associating with those who share an ethnicity rather than those who share an ideology, which could explain what I found quite bizarre, the northern leaders who were reported to have asked marauding murderers to come home. How can the North be the home of criminals? Shouldn't they be calling for their prosecution and imprisonment? There's that. And also about the Constitution. Let's also talk about the fact that APC printed this in their manifesto in black and white. How do we then have conversations, as we're having now in the front page of today's newspapers, about extra polling units and what have you, what INEC is trying to do, when politicians and political parties can so casually renege on fundamental electoral promises like restructuring?
Well, to start with the second question, there's what they call takia. Takia means that when you deceive an unbeliever, you have not offended Allah. And I think that was what the APC did with your question of inserting restructuring in their manifesto to hoodwink the unwary, to say that, oh, they believe in remaking Nigeria. Don't forget that when they came to power, the first thing President Buhari said that, oh, the report of the 2014 conference, we'll keep it in the archives. We will not touch it. And up to date, they have not touched it. All they are doing is that, oh, if you talk about restructuring, they even said they didn't even know what the meaning. Until they set up a herdsmen committee. Herdsmen just photocopied a few pages from the 2014 conference. Up to now, they've done nothing about it. Because they are not interested in restructuring Nigeria. They are not interested in destructuring the country. And that is what they are doing. About the conversation you are talking about, there is no serious conversation about the future of Nigeria. Those who are in power now, all they are interested in is to keep Nigeria as it is, to sit on the necks of the rest of us and be saying that Nigeria is indissoluble, indivisible, because they are sitting on our necks. They keep talking about the fact that, oh, Igbos one did Biafra. But have they forgotten that they were the did Araba? What's the meaning of Araba? Let's divide it. It's only when they assume that they have conquered the rest of the country, they are fully in charge, that they are now singing, it's indissoluble, it's indivisible, it's one country, it's one this. It's all about cheating arrangement. We have fellow countrymen who believe that the only way to live their lives is to cheat others. Once they are not cheating, it's not fair. Once they are cheating others, it is okay. And it cannot continue that way.
Right. It was a good thing you made mention of Francis Fukuyama, because when Francis Fukuyama realized his mistake after that book in 92, he now wrote another one in 2018. The title was Identity Politics and the Strive for Recognition. Yeah. And that is where we are in Nigeria today. You know, how can we adequately play this identity politics with a sense of nationhood, intact? And I also want to narrow down the identity politics by talking about Sunday Igboho. It looks as though other people in the Yoruba community are against him. He's had a spat with the Obas, with the Oni, for instance, which he said he apologized, and there's been a back and forth. So it's now like a rubric of Sunday Igboho against the Yoruba political elite and the Obas. Some are for, some are against. It has now got into a precipice where for you to define your Yoruba-ness, it's either you are for or against Sunday Igboho. What is happening?
Well, clearly, first of all, to start with the Fukuyama, his second book was about identity politics, was more in tandem with the correction from his teacher, Huntington, who wrote The Clash of Civilizations. And like he rightly said, that is where we are today. We can no longer deny the people's identity and begin to talk about nationhood. Nigeria is not a nation, and Nigeria cannot become a nation the way it is. because there's a strong clash of civilizations. If we're a country, we can move to live in harmony, in unison, if we address the politics of identity and we allow people to live their civilizations. Back to Sunday Igboho in Yoruba land. Sunday Igboho is a representation of angst, justifiable angst, about the killings in Yoruba land, about the rest of them. Well, there could be areas where he has stepped out of line, like the attacks on the Afenifere, which he has apologized, and which we have talked to him about, that we cannot talk to Afenifere that way. A first-class monarch in Yoruba land, you can't just get up and begin to call him names and begin to threaten him, and which he has apologized, and the Afenifere has graciously accepted that apology, and we hope that that will not happen again. And what you said about, in Yoruba land today, is either you are for Igboho or you are against Igboho. I don't think it's about Igboho as a person. It's about the resistance to the killings of our people, being killed like fowl. When they begin to kill a first-class Oba on the streets, when they kill Funke Olakuni, fashioned his daughter, policemen on there told his sister, brother, Ken the fashionity, that herdsmen kill your sister. And when we put this out, they'll say we are profiling. And even some of our people said that, they said it's the herdsmen. Where are the cows? When SARS arrested 4 people over the killing, why they not Fulani? Even officials of Beitiala. And when people say they are profiling Fulani men, people had debunked that silly accusation. What do you mean by profiling? It's a Fulani man, does it look like a Yoruba man or Igbo man or a German? They are different. There's nobody who's attacked by a Fulani man that will not know that this is a Fulani man. We know them from their speech, from their color, from their skin, they are different from the rest of us. We know who they are. So people cannot say that we are profiling them. Yes, we live together. I know that as kids, we used to play with them. We used to run after them, singing with them. The ones that are coming that time, they are carrying sticks. They are not carrying AK-47. Only Fulani man can carry AK-47 freely in Nigeria today. The rest of us, even people who register ordinary small guns, the Buhari regime asked them to submit the guns. It's only Fulanis who are carrying AK-47 all over the country without consequences. What kind of country are we talking about? It is clear about the strong clash of civilizations.
Well, on that note,
the present government is,
Well, I was just going to thank you very much for joining us. I get your point about clash of civilizations. But I just hope that all of us will learn to tone down the rhetoric a bit because it can be disturbing. But thank you very much for joining us.